and when I think about the whole transition of going from inside to outside and that adaptation that the child must go through, but we all made it through, and so I guess we're designed to be able to make it.
So.
Yeah,
it is. Every time I see a baby born, it's amazing that things go the way they're supposed to. And to me, it's surprising when there isn't a problem. You know, parents always say, you know, oh, how come the head is, you know, this cone shape, but that's what the baby needs to do to get out of the birth canal, to kind of travel through, and it has. As a human infant has adapted to these things and changes, and their heart, everything is kind of goes through a process, a transition that takes a lot. There's a lot that has to go on. So if that doesn't happen, to me, it's kind of seems like, you know, but it's hard for parents, you know, especially like if there's a heart murmur. That happens a lot in newborns. Why? Because they have a circulation in the mom's womb that is completely different from being outside, and that transition can cause a murmur. So it happens a lot, and parents, oh no, there's a murmur, and you know, and definitely it needs to be followed and needs to be worked up and make sure it's not anything bad, but it happens a lot.
Now, when you were talking about the murmur, when the child is inside the mom, that child is being fed through the umbilical cord, so they're tied to the mom's rhythms and that? Is that what you mean? And then when you're out, you're on your own?
Well, their flow of blood from the heart to the lungs, the baby, when they're inside the mom, they don't really use their lungs, right? Their lungs aren't breathing air. Their lungs are organs that they're given blood, but there's no air there because the mom is oxygenating the baby. Then when the baby comes out, the baby has to get its own oxygen by filling up its lungs. And sometimes, like if the baby comes through the birth canal really fast, there's some fluid in the lungs that stays there that they can't oxygenate real well. So you keep thinking about this baby coming out, and there's a lot of changes that go on that transition from going from inside the mom, where the mom did a lot of the work. She took care of a lot of the toxins, like with her liver. And now the baby coming out, after you cut that cord, now the baby has to breathe, has to have a different path of the blood that it did a minute ago, and has to take care of its own toxins with its own liver, has to take care of, use its kidneys now, you know, that.
And those are all kicking in for the first time,
right? They're just getting started. So.
Yeah, that is just a huge transition.
It's huge, and to me, it's amazing when a baby can go 9 months and develop. If you realize what a baby has to do and what has to move where and what has to turn, that they come out normal. I mean, it's an amazing miracle.
Yeah.
You know, so.
It sure is, and I can remember both of my kids, and I was just, oh my God, you know,
wow.
This is, wow. Okay, so the idea of actually cleaning in those areas there, it's nice to know. In that umbilical cord, it always looked like it hurt the child. Not the umbilical cord, the, what was left of it, the little hard...
The little stump?
The stump there, yeah.
Yeah, well, what we do when a baby first comes out is we actually put a clamp on. It's a yellow clamp, usually in most hospitals. And until the cord, the little stump dries up at the base. Yeah. And we really, now the World Health Organization we used to put alcohol on it, we used to put a blue dye on it to try to keep it from getting infected. And now the World Health Organization has recommended that we actually do nothing, okay? We have a little clamp that stays on for about 24 hours. And then the nurse is going to take off the clamp because it's going to be all dried up. And then that little stump that's left is going to fall off around day 10 of the baby's life. Yeah. And what you do want to do, so you don't put anything on it, but you do want to keep it dry. If water gets down in there, it can keep it moist and it might get infected. So the baby's first bath for the first 10 days is just going to be a sponge bath. It's not going to be where the baby's going to go in water. Yeah. Because we want to keep that area dry.
Okay. So I think with my kids, we were still doing alcohol.
Yeah, it's only been a year and a half that we changed that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I do have moms that come in that they have a 2-year-old and they come in and have another baby, and well, what about the alcohol?
Oh, sure, sure.
So it's a lot of everything kind of keeps changing.
Yeah. So. Actually, probably changing for the better, though, right? You learn new things.
Right.
And you say,
right. Exactly. And who knows? They might find let's go back to the way we were doing it. So I think it's just